Hi everyone, it's Beth from Beth Thielking Design. Hope you're all doing good today. Remember a week or so ago I was sitting here and I was telling you what a gorgeous day it was in Holland, Michigan. I think it was 75 degrees that day. So today I'm sitting here and looking out the window and we are in the middle of a winter weather advisory, and I think we got like 8 inches of snow last night. So a little colder than last time I talked to you, but that's how we roll in Michigan. One day it's 75, the next day it's 25. Okay, so for today's video, I'm going to show you how I finished up the drizzle painting on the champagne glasses that I showed you last time. I'll show you how I mix up the resin, how I paint them, and I have a few other coasters and things that I also covered with resin, so I'll show you those. Relatively short video today, and I will show you the final product that I'm going to be putting on the shelves. So stick around and we'll get right to it. Thanks. Okay, here we are. The glasses have dried overnight and I am prepping them now to put the final sealer resin on these. So as I told you in the video the other day, yesterday I believe, some of them had smudges and I just took paper towel with some alcohol and just cleaned them all up. And obviously I will wash these also before they're ready to sell. But they all cleaned up really nice. One other quick thing is, remember I put Vaseline on the bottom, and so this is where it really helps. There's some paint on there, but basically what I'm gonna do with that is just take my knife, and this comes off really easily. So I'm gonna just scrape that off all the way around. Not very much paint, that's what the Vaseline helps to avoid. So I just want that to be a smooth edge so that when the resin gets on there, it'll be a nice smooth edge on that, okay? So there's still Vaseline, I'm leaving that on there, but I'm just going to trim all the excess paint off the bottom of each of the glasses, okay? Okay, one last thing we're gonna do to prep before we put the resin on is I'm actually gonna tape off the tops of all these glasses. Working with resin is very challenging because once it dries, it's nearly impossible to get off. So I don't want a lot of smudges getting on my glasses, so I am just gonna tape it off around the edge here, around the top, just above where the paint line is, and that will help you tremendously when you're handling these as you're putting the resin on. You won't have to worry about it getting on the paint. It doesn't matter that this tape is smooth or not, just so it covers the glass. So I'm going to do that on all of these to get ready. Then I think we will be ready to start mixing up the resin. Okay, we're going to start mixing up the resin to put on the wine glasses or the champagne glasses. The resin that I use, I get from Hobby Lobby. It's Envirotex Light Pour On. It's a 2-part resin. There's the resin part, and then there's the hardener. And I really don't have time to go over all the technology around resin pouring, so maybe I can do that on another video. But basically with the 2-part, it's really important. 1, wear gloves, take your rings off because this stuff is hard on your hands. 2, you need to be in an environment that's at least, I would say, 65 to 70 degrees if possible. That's why I moved downstairs, because my upstairs studio was too cold. And you're going to be mixing 1 part of the resin with 1 part of the hardener. And it's important to keep those volumes. You measure by volume to keep those as accurate as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and measure those up. We're going to stir the first part for 2 minutes, and then we're going to pour the first part into another container and scrape all that out and stir it for another minute. So I don't want you to have to watch me for 3 minutes just stirring. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that, and then I'll be back. Okay, I've got the two parts mixed together. This is the second mixing that I told you about. I made a pretty large batch, a pint, 16 ounces. And again, when you measure them, it's important to measure by volume, not by weight. And you can hear my timer going off, so I think this is pretty well mixed. I don't know if you can see that. There's a few air bubbles in it. I'm going to show you how to get rid of some of those later. So this batch is obviously way too big for just the glasses alone. So it's important, or I think it's good, to have other projects that you can, sorry, I had to turn my timer off, that you can use any of your leftover resin on. Resin is expensive, and I hate throwing it away. So I've got a bunch of coasters, I've got some ornaments that I'm also going to pour on, and then I will start with what I have left. I'm gonna go on the glasses. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I poured some of these coasters the other day. These are the ones that I did the other video on, and now I'm just putting the resin on these. Basically, I just poured a spot in the middle, and I'm just spreading it out with my hands. That's why you need to use gloves on all of these. So I don't know if you can see that. Can you get a close-up, Tom? So I'm just spreading it around, make sure it gets on all the sides, all the edges. And I'm doing that for a bunch of different coasters that I have here. So I'm going to do these first, and then I will get to the wine glasses. Okay, one other quick thing I'm going to show you here is with resin, there's air bubbles in it usually, and so it's important to pop those bubbles. I have a torch that I use. You can use a heat gun to do that, but basically, you can see me. I'll just go over it real quick, and that will pop the bubbles. Sometimes you have to do this a couple of times because the bubbles will keep coming up through the resin. So if you don't do this and you let the bubbles dry, there'll be a lot of little pinholes in your work, and that's not very aesthetically pleasing. And just go over those. I'll do it with the wine glasses too once I get the resin on those. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start painting the glasses. My resin, this particular type of resin, supposedly has what they call a pot time of about 5 minutes, or after you mix it up, you're supposed to use it in 5 minutes. I have found that it lasts a little bit longer, so I'm able to take my time here a little bit and not have to rush. But I hope you can see this. So basically I'm just going over the painted area, and you want to make sure that you seal all of the painted area. You don't have to go higher than that, but just go around the edges and make sure that you're sealing all of that paint on. And that's going to give you a really nice bright finish on this. And it will also protect the paint from peeling or anything else. Still have to hand wash these and don't put them in the dishwasher, but this does offer a layer of protection for the paint. So once I get all that on the top here, then I'm just going to put it on my turntable and do the bottom part. The resin usually takes about 24 to 48 hours to dry to the touch, but you are supposed to let it cure for a good 5 to 7 days before you use the piece. And that is just to make sure that it is set properly, that it's not tacky at all when you start using it. It just gives you a much better finish if you let it sit for a few days. Okay, so now I'm just going to do the stem here. And the turntable is nice because it allows me to just hold it on the bottom and turn it around here, get this all nicely covered. And then the base. This will run down, so it's going to drip a little bit on the bottom, and that's why I leave the Vaseline on the bottom part, so it's easier for me to get the drips off later. Okay, so that's it. I'm just going to set it over and let that one drain, and then I'm going to finish up all of them. I do use my torch on these also because there will be a few tiny little bubbles, so I just torch it to break those bubbles, and then we let it drip. Okay, here's all of the products that I did with 16 ounces of resin. This is my little factory production line here. So I was able to do all these coasters, my wine glasses, my champagne glasses, and I even had enough left over to do this one little ornament. So we're going to let these sit, and should be all ready in a couple of days. Okay, here is the final product of the champagne glasses. I think they turned out just beautiful. I'm really happy with it. Very shiny finish on there. The resin really gives it a nice finish. Very pretty. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe on my YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye for now.